All right, so let's catch up on this auntie here, Auntie Nika Linc Edochie. We've covered her story a little bit. We just a quick update, quick update. As a matter of fact, I was looking at Auntie B posted earlier. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I saw how she posted it on her. She posted something on her story. Let me see if I can find it. So if you don't know her story, she was basically on the verge of getting married to Linc Edochie, who is also an actor, who is a brother to the popular actor Ola Tux that we've covered extensively here. And they were getting ready to marry, and somehow she found herself entangled up in basketballs with the May Nation. May Nation is basically the fan base of May Ola Tux, who is the ex-wife to be of Ola Tux. So she decided she wanted to pick a fight with online fans. Just think about the idea of picking up fights with the beehives, Beyonce's beehives, right? Or any popular fan base out there, or the FC, the Whiskey FC, or the 30BG, right? Imagine taking up a fight with them and then making it personal. It not gonna work, right? It won't work. So I saw Auntie B posted this. No, let me see here. Yep, this is the post right here. All right, so here's the post. She said from my DM. Shout out to Auntie B. She said from my DM. This person said, Auntie B, how are you and the family doing? Hope all is well. My attention has been drawn to your live stream yesterday on YouTube about Yinka. I was like, oh, I have to gist Auntie B about Yinka because I know her well. Auntie B, let me tell you about this woman called Yinka. Yinka, her adult daughter, that thing is moving on me. Adult daughter, and myself worked at the same job, even though she's part-time at my job, but she's a doctor of nursing at Fairview Hospital. She is hurt, desperate, and she is ready to go to any length to destroy Linc. Linc doesn't know who he's messing with. Atibi, do you know that Yinka is paying this blog called Linc Edochie blog to spread propaganda about Linc and his family members? She's even paying Uche, that's the guy who interviewed her a few days ago, for that interview she granted. Yinka makes good money and she's getting spouse support from her ex-husband. Okay, so most is not her problem. She's hurt, broken, and desperate, and Linc has something big coming his way. Like what? Like what could be coming Linc's way? I'm waiting. You guys have an idea what could be coming for Linc? Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing it up again is because I wanted to remind you. Do you recall when she said that she's, as soon as she got dumped by Linc Edochie, do you recall her literally saying she's moving forward and that's it, and she's just gonna drop it, something to that effect? I'll see if I can pull that up right now, right? And I think I might have said, I don't remember, but I think I might have said, yeah, right, she's not going anywhere, she's going to come back and tell us, right? If you recall, she got dumped because Linc Edochie posted a message, and this was an quote. He said, I usually don't make careless speeches, but I want to set the record straight. I am a man of peace. I disagree. He's made some speeches that are actually careless. It seems a little gentle, but he's doing too much talking on the internet too. He said, I'm a man of peace and value my sanity. For the records, I did not endorse the recent attacks on May. Neither did I endorse posting her number. Okay, so if you recall, her number, May's private number, got posted on the internet because this woman claimed she was retaliating because somebody released her own number. Also, we've seen reports saying that she's actually under suspension at her job at the present moment because she's being investigated for this online dragging, right? She said, this guy said, we may not all agree with each other, but we can respect one another. Better to be alone and at peace than to be in a union field with landmines. Respect. All right. All right, so this was the message he dropped, and then eventually they unfollowed each other, you know, and also there's an audio here that I really didn't get to play to you guys.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
I
sir.
told somebody who called me, I said, listen, to God who made me, I have never set eyes on Yinka. It is only me. So you can
Yes,
see
sir.
that this is one wrong on top of another wrong.
Yes, sir.
May is like a sister to me.
Yes, sir.
Listen carefully.
Okay, so that was the audio call of Leo Edochie, one of their brothers, right? So anyway, so I just noticed that in the past 24 hours, apparently she had released another set of text messages, and that's what I'm going to try to see if I can pull up right now. Yeah. But before I put that up, listen to this audio or this video.
What Linc did to me, I'm not gonna lie, I am shocked. I am shocked. You know,
Hi, Cherish Olivia.
this is a man. You know, there's a lot of people who don't know the family had a very tragic event recently, and I was there for him. I was in Lagos. I was there for him. You know, I supported him, and in fact, that a lot of people don't know about this tragedy I'm talking about, and I'll just leave it at that.
What happened? What happened?
You said a lot of people.
No. I'll just leave it at that because it's a sensitive thing, and you know, bringing out a family secret that a lot of people don't know. It's not because somebody just said I shouldn't say anything to you. So.
Throw you under the bus. No, there's no throw somebody that are your helper, your destiny helper under the bus. No. Talk your own. What please just talk. You don't reach level where you say you go talk your own.
You know, I said a lot of things, to be honest with you, to protect him. I said a lot of things to protect him, Uche. That's the God honest truth. But
ladies, men need the help too. Sometimes you should protect them. How many examples have I shown you here that's not your lane? If you truly want to help a man, stay in your lane. Just be a lady. Stop trying to play equality, match his energy. You too, you can do what a man can do, even better. She was trying to protect him. You know the funny thing? I actually kind of believe that. It's the same concept of a Mr. Nice Guy, right? Who always have, they might be coming off like they're helping you or they want to do you some kind of favor, but the problem is the expectations. They expect you to match it. And if you can't match it, you collect. If you can't match it, what did I say? They messed up my whole studio. God have mercy. You go collect.
Sorry.
If you're pouring from an empty cup and then now you expect them to reciprocate and it's suddenly they're not reciprocating in due time.
Are you playing? What type of playing is this? This is playing. Why
you go collect.
Sorry.
Anyway.
You know, sometimes in life we get what we deserve. You know, I was there for him, you know.
I was there for him.
How are you there for him? I'm there for you. How? Is it that?
Is it bad to be there for someone? No. Is the how? It's a good question from Uche, actually.
You monetarily, what did you do? Tell them so that they will know the kind of person Linc is, that is just trying to do like this to get favor from main nation.
You know, let me be honest with you. I started.
If you're there for someone and you can't sustain it, you're a bad person. If you can't sustain it even when they're not reciprocating, okay, let me just shock you right now, you're a bad person. Okay, that's kind of harsh, but I need you to really get the weight of what I'm trying to say. if you are there for someone and you cannot sustain it all on your own when they're no longer reciprocating, okay, maybe you're not a bad person. I just want you to know that you're not a special person. Okay, you're not a special person, and don't turn around and say, oh, they didn't. You were actively pouring from an empty cup. That's what was going on. Because if you don't listen to what I'm saying right now, you're going to end up like this lady. You're going to resent yourself, aka resent everything and everybody that you've ever done anything for, aka drag yourself in these streets. Your own children, you see, one of the children's friends already casting them, talking about she works at Fairview, right? You will drag your own children in these streets, all because you have unrealistic expectations. That's what I'm trying to say. Human beings are human beings. Make sure that if you want to pour into other people, you are able to pour. You're actually pouring from a place of abundance, and then you're able to sustain it even if they never reciprocate. If you can't do that, stop everything you're doing. Just stop pouring. Stop. Go feel yourself first, and then you can come back. By the way, people mimic the level of self-respect, self-love, and self-sustainability you have for yourself. If you are doing well for yourself, they want to mimic, they want to copy you, they want to be a part of that party because you're showing up with confidence and they just want to be a part of it. But if you show up with this empty thing, you're pouring, if this happens, this kind of stuff, they dump you, and then you're going to turn around and try to shame them for it. And then you try to drag everybody under the bus. That's what she's doing right now.
There's some things I will say. I started a relationship with him after he told me a very, very sad thing. I am not, about how his wife was sleeping around in Abuja with all the allergies. All these things I have text messages of, and yeah, and she's a weed head. She smokes weed every day.
Okay, that somebody smokes weed, that's such an empty thing to say about a person. Look at his mouth. That's such an empty thing to say about a person. Okay, they smoke weed, and what? Where are you driving at exactly? I know exactly where you're driving at. You're painting the man's character a certain type of way, but why? We need to dig in a little bit deeper behind that. Why do you feel the need to paint his character this way? Because he was always a weed head up to just a few days ago, right? So what changed? Oh, not cool. So not cool.
And that their last child who had seizures, she withdrew the medication. So we became very close in the sense of,
wow, she is going in. Wow. Shout out to Uncle Patrick. I see Uncle Patrick there. Uncle Patrick said, Ola, I refer Yinka to you. Please expect her later today. No shaming. She's going to be your client. Oh well, we shall see. I try not to shame. But we're talking in generic on YouTube. So, but if there's any Yinkas out there, I want you to get the full weight of what this message is about. This is not cool. It is not okay to break up with a person and then start throwing them under the bus. Not just that. See, when you do that, it's lack of self-respect. It's lack of self-respect. And whenever you point fingers, I always tell you guys, there's 4 of those fingers always pointing at you. Okay? And until you get into that space where you're able to hold yourself accountable, you will basically be elaborate all over the place. Okay? But she's still talking. Let's see. Shout out to Uncle Patrick. Thank you, sir.
Just emotionally supporting him because I couldn't believe such an awesome a woman would repeatedly cheat on him. So it was under that pretext, and I used to watch
pretext. What did I tell you about pretending? It's one of the most dangerous words on this internet. Whenever people don't want to be accountable, they will say the other person they engaged was pretending all along. No, they were not pretending. They were telling you the truth. You just were not listening. Okay, but it's easy to cast them now that that everything has scattered, right? Never mind how we got here in the first place, which is trying to compete with monitoring spirits on the internet. Queen May Nation, right?
Amaka's I went many times and I watched Amaka because She, my daughter just sent me a message and said, "Mom, stop. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let
All right.
what Linc did to me."
So when you talk too much, you tell on yourself. That's what we're looking at right here. But let's cover a little bit more here. Listen to this.
Yeah, so hello everyone, how you all doing? Okay, yeah, so my woman and I, the sweetest woman in the whole wide world, woman I call God's precious gift to me. Took out time from our busy schedules, and she's a little, and come on, what's life? Ain't that right, brown sugar?
That's right. Vanilla sugar.
Exactly. So
she's not a bad looking woman at all, right? Brown sugar, all that is sweet when it was sweet, right? But when you go deep inside of some of us, it can be very nasty. Look at this. I look at the Mama 5 left message here. She says, God's precious gift, don't turn your worst nightmare. Is this not true for most marriages and relationships that breaks apart? People become their own worst nightmare and enemies. So if this is true across the board for every marriage that breaks apart, what does that tell us? What does that tell us? That should tell us something. What is the common denominator in that story? If every time a marriage or a relationship breaks apart, people tend to become their own worst nightmare and enemy, that should tell you that it's about breakups. It gets nasty, right? It's not about the persons. It's not about people are bad or people are good. It's never really about that. The point is that all of us can become super bad or worse, or become our own worst enemies if you've gone through a bad breakup. It comes with trauma. Every breakup, there's no exceptions. Oh no, we just decided to go our separate ways. It's a lie, because she told us, if you remember, she told us that, oh, they're just going to go their separate ways. What happened just less than 48 hours later on? The real demon came out on both sides. On both sides.
you hear from her, I think it'll be better.
My Odugu is the best, the sweetest, the kindest,
Oh,
the most precious gift from God. I am mega grateful for him. I love you, sugar.
Amen to that, and I love
Hey,
you like
Abby.
they race to infinity, baby. That's original brown sugar, sweetheart. The best there is, the best there'll ever be, my missing rib. Yeah, I'm sorry if you other people are jealous, but I cannot help it. They don't come a dime and a dozen. This is one and only. So we're going out there to chill, attending some sweet exhibition. I'll keep you guys posted later on. Ta-da!
yeah. Okay. So that is that one. So eventually, earlier on today, I noticed that she was releasing some. I think I saved them. I'm hoping I saved them. Let me see here. She was releasing some screenshots of some messages between the two of them. So she dropped way too much. Let's see. Okay, so for example, look at this post. I think this is an old post. It says, God have mercy, God have mercy, God have mercy. The past few days, your friend Kingsley Paul kept sending me messages that you miss me. Okay, so I guess Kingsley Paul is friends for Linc Edochie, and I should wait. This is not how what I call love should be. Okay, and then she tags Rita Edochie. She's still blaming third parties. Blaming third parties for the demise or the collapse of your relationship is a perfect way to shoot yourself on the legs. I don't care if the third party is directly involved. I don't care if it's an in-law. I don't care if they were there and the one that caused it. As long as we're talking about you were engaged romantically with an adult, yes, influences are constant across the board. There's influences everywhere. You cannot blame the influence. Okay? If you have to blame yourself. But honestly, you don't have to blame. You could just start looking a little bit deeper, look inwards, and find out where there was a collapse in communication. And if there's a part you want to be accountable to, you need to hold yourself accountable. And your relief starts with pure, absolute self-accountability. That's when your first relief starts. If you can't get out of pointing fingers, you will continue to wallow in misery. It's very difficult. Self-accountability is a very difficult thing to go through. So what did she say? She said, at Rita Edochie, you are an evil woman for trying to paint a different picture. More to come, so much more. Is this the Edochie way? As you can see, I'm not covering Rita Edochie's postings. I can't even find it anywhere because it really doesn't matter. It's like saying, oh, it's raining, it's sunshine, so it is this person's fault. It doesn't matter. Okay. No, but we can hold the rain accountable. No. You cannot hold influences accountable. Even if they are humans, you are shooting yourself on the legs by doing that. Instead, you need to take that's your very limited amount of attention, refocus it back on self-accountability, self-improvement, self-love, self-respect. Refocus it back. It's a very difficult process because you will start feeling like it's unfair. We should hold them accountable. I'm telling you right now, I'm warning you, okay? You will only make it worse for yourself. She said, same way you were trying, she said, Linc, you told me. So she posted this woman, some random woman, Samantha's Alexander's posting. She said, Linc, you told me to block this woman when she reached out to me. I have tried to cover up so much. Same way you were trying. Now, let's go back. You tried to cover. I say this about men all the time, and it looks like I'm dragging men. The same thing is true to women. You were covering up. Why were you covering? Tell me the real reason why you were covering it up in the first place. That's going to be a more important information for us. Why were you covering up? What was the value in covering up for you personally? What was in it for me? WIIFM when you did it. That is important for you to move forward. So I've tried to cover up so much, same way you were trying to get me to pay for your divorce. Why did she say that line? It's character assassination. She's hurt. Hurt people hurt people. Well, if hurt people, what do you produce? You produce another hurt person. What does the hurt person do? They try to hurt you back. And there's bass bulls. There's no end to it until you end it, until you interrupt that cycle. There's no end to it. Or there's no guarantee of an end to it. You're counting on another person becoming the bigger person. Maybe never. Who's going to lose? Maybe both. But you too. If you could win, why won't you win? Right? Same way you were trying to get me to pay for your divorce. Meanwhile, you have been divorced for a couple of years. Why hurt innocent women? Oh. All right. So there was this lady, I guess she reached out and said, did he take money from you? And then somebody said yes. She said yes. Did you give him money too? I said yes. Now, a lot of Nigerian men are known to finesse. Not majority, a lot. A lot is still minority, but a lot of people do finesse women, especially when it's a fine boy, it's a tall, handsome, 6'6" kind of man coming out of Nigeria, Odogu, a prince, the son of a legend such as Pete Edochie, so maybe she fell for it like, because if you want to get women drunk, I'm generalizing, give them some attention. Ladies, what could you do with that? Be careful, because you might be getting drunk off of attention too. If somebody gives you too much attention, do you literally lose your mind? Then no, it's just not you. But once you know it, awareness is half the battle won, right? So she was getting the attention. Whatever she was getting out of the attention, maybe a sense of significance, right? That's also a basic human need, right? So he says, I will have him send you a request. Don't tell me you paid his divorce. And then she goes, I didn't. Okay. Why already? I really don't like drama, but okay, give me 2 hours. I'll gladly for you. Okay. Thank you, sis. So now this man has 2 women potentially ganging up against him because he's hurt their feelings. But something was good about him before it became bad. What happened? because she decided to engage May Nation, and then everything scattered. Could this relationship have worked? Yes. Yes. People have backstories, and those backstories are somebody who is hoping that karma will happen one day and it will be the end of Nollywood movie. But you go on to live happily ever after. There are 7 billion of us here, and that means 7 billion times 7 billion different stories. Every one of those stories, somebody is wishing that they will end in the bad man dies, the bad man dies, and then the good man lives everly after, right? It's about understanding this game called life. How do you move? How do you conduct yourself when there are monitoring spirits everywhere? There's principalities, or you're not fighting flesh. I keep telling you guys that. So you have to protect your energy at all times. So engaging the May Nation was a completely bad move. That's what created all of this. That's what triggered all of this. And again, if you look around you, you can always find something to blame. And usually there's something legit. Something you can say, yes, I know I'm right. But your outcome is not what you're looking for. So there's a problem. Right? So she goes, okay, thank you, sis. Are you okay? What's really going on? I'm not. She says, I'm not. The divorce has been graped 2 years ago. That person said, I have the copy. And then she goes, Linc, don't even like dark-skinned women. So I knew he was fake. Okay. So suddenly they knew he was fake. I don't think he does not like dark-skinned women. I think, again, people start to tell themselves all kind of stories that make them feel better short term. It does not solve the problem. It doesn't give you long-term relief, right? Linc don't even like dark-skinned women, so I knew it was fake. His wife was dark-skinned, he said. Well, the divorce has been graped 2 years ago. And then she goes, oh, wonder how he paid it. He can pay for a divorce. What is this? Anyway. Again, they are misery loves company. Misery loves company. That's what this is. Okay. You sent me a message that he only wants me for citizenship. Why would you say that? Before I call. Anyway, may God help us. I wanted to read that to you. We don't know what the truth is or anything like that, but Yoruba people have a saying. The Yoruba people will say, Orolo dile ti orin di owe. Okay, I don't know how to say that in English. It is because matter with the ground that our songs are now adages or songs that you use to abuse people. I don't know, something like that. But there's a problem here. Let me come to the chat before we move on to the next story here. I didn't know this story was going to be this long, but hopefully you guys got some lessons out of that. Please, whatever you're doing for a partner, make sure you're doing it from a place of abundance. If you don't do it from a place of abundance, you're going to resent yourself later on. What does that look like? You will resent the other partner. You will attempt to drag them, but in that, when you are dragging them, the child always say make the mother no sleep. Even the child no go sleep. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would you want to do that to yourself? It's how people hurt themselves in these streets is crazy. But again, these things are not. If they were common sense, they're not common sense, obviously. When you get caught up in your emotions, you will self-sabotage and you can literally self-destruct. Abby says, Uncle Patrick, good evening, sir. I hope you are well. Yes, so Lagos. So you're in Lagos, eh? May God forgive you. You didn't take me to Lagos. This lady needs to stay quiet. People will move on. Of course. Abby said, yeah, she's drowning in self-pity. Yep. 2Y, okay, hello. She says, to show him loyalty, drama triangle. Yeah. Loyalty? No, she was doing it for herself. Okay. She might have thought she was doing loyalty, but what we know today tells us that it only took her to get dumped before she would start dragging everybody, including the whole family of Edochie, in the mud. All right. Do you know the amount of energy it takes for anybody to be quiet in that family or not drag her back right now? It's going to take a lot. But hey, issue any loan to one your boy. I'm just giving all kind of proverb today. Issue any their son went to engage this lady, so it is what it is, and it's fair. In love and war, all is fair. Don't ever forget that. Uncle Patrick posted a scripture here, Proverb 11:13, King James Version. A talebearer revealeth secrets. Yes, so if you talk too much, you go tell on yourself. But he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Yeah, in this social media generation, they say, no, you have to tell. In fact, there's a story coming up that I have to cover that. They say, you have to, in this generation, we just tell everything. Sure, no problem. There's some principles that are timeless. You keep talking, you tell on yourself. Some of us will uncover the actual truth. People never remember the good, unfortunately. No, they don't. They don't. Or they'll start highlighting all the negatives, right? Yep, 100%. Yep. Lex, I'm not sure what she's hoping to achieve to stay relevant. She's soothing her emotions, short term. And we've all been through that, where you just feel like throwing everything under the bus. You just feel like messing things up because you feel hurt. That's what we all tend to do. But when you know better, you do better. And you just know it as, don't make it a thing of, certain people only do that. Yes, there's personalities based on individuals. But for the most part, when people are hurt people hurt people. Uncle Ola, did you see the VDM Masichiwo update? I know Siamo. Waiting to happen. Don't worry, I'll pull it up in a second. But I have to cover VDM today because it's actually our cover story. That will be interesting to see. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. If someone comes out to drag you after a relationship has ended, what does that say about them? They're hurt. They don't want it to be over. They don't want it to be over. Maybe they want it to be over. Maybe they're confused, but they're badly hurt. We can know that they're badly hurt. And every relationship will leave residues. Every relationship breakup will leave residues of that bad breakfast on you. So no one should be telling people like, just have options. Just be spinning your plate. Like, no, that's a bad idea. You should work on yourself so that even as you put yourself out there, yes, it's possible that you break up with people, but you will have enough from a place of abundance to handle that kind of stuff. If you don't, then you will get out here and you will try to drag people. It is what it is. Cherish Olivia says, I don't like the fact that Auntie Yinka talked a lot. She ruined her chances. That's it. That's all it takes. You talk too much, you will ruin everything with your mouth. Enu lebo. Oh wow, let me see here. It's interesting. All right, so let me know what your thoughts are about this one. What do you think? Do you think Linc needs to be held accountable here? Let me just say this real quick. Linc is one of those sweet mouth. It's obvious sweet mouth people engaging a lady, I don't know, allegedly for papers and stuff like that. Yeah, this kind of thing can happen to you too. You see, you don't know that you have a lot to lose until it happens to you. The last thing that Linc would want today is for some woman or woman to be dragging the name of the Edochie family in the mud for the past few days. Some people might say, good publicity now, bad publicity, or publicity and good publicity. No, BS. Orúkọ rere sàn ju wúrà lọ. Orúkọ rere ó sàn ju wúrà lọ. Anyway, we'll come back with that in a second here. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Linc is not a saint. Here we go. Already, Ice is here. Say Linc is not a saint. Good to see you, Ice. All right, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.